morning, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Nexus Grain Market Updates. Coming off of a President's Day Monday holiday, Tuesday morning, 17th of February 2026 at 10:58 a.m. Let's get to the markets right now. Bushel of corn is down 4 pennies right now at 4.02 across the terminals at Nexus Cooperative. New crop corn likewise is down about 4 pennies at $4.20 a bushel. Soybeans are up 5 pennies, ranging of 10.58 to 10.63 for old crop soybeans across the terminal markets at Nexus. New crop soybeans are up right about 4 pennies at 10.42 to 10.47 across the terminals. So we indeed have a story of two markets going on here with the corn and with the soybeans. Two different markets going in two separate directions, really for two different reasons. I think most of you have seen the corn chart that I've showed, how we are in a very range-bound market that continues to occur, and I'm going to get to that a little bit later in the analysis. But I want to start off with soybeans and show everybody what I'm seeing, particularly with in relationship to the volume. So we're going to go to the first slide that I'm presenting to my marketing department. Slide number 1, I've got that labeled with the Sharpie. I am showing a resistance line right now of 10.49 3/4. It really feels like this soybean market is set up to violate that line and probably start making a charge for some new highs for old crop soybeans. New crop soybeans, likewise, we'll go to slide number 2. I'm seeing the same type of pattern setting up, seeing a very well-defined upward sloping trend line on the bottom. In this case, the resistance line of 1131.5 is actually the session high since the 1st of January 2025. So the soybean market is doing what it's always done, is defending its acres. What I really believe, we have two things occurring right now. I'll repeat what I've said earlier, in that a lot of the trade community feels that we're going to see some amends occur between Washington and Beijing, and perhaps see some activity that we haven't seen before in our export market, perhaps a catch-up in export activity of soybeans. The second thing is that we really, as a nation, are on track to probably buy back about 3 million acres of soybeans back away from the corn market. The second thing I want to talk about in relationship to these two slides is, I skipped over these fairly quickly. We don't need to go back to them. But when we seen the fairly abrupt run-up, which really started arguably about 6 weeks ago, somewhere in there, we've seen a fairly well-defined run-up. We watched our soybean speculative community since the 30th of January. They were long about 15,000 contracts. Today, 115,000. So we've seen the numbers. We've seen the speculative community, basically our managed money, getting long soybeans, and they like the market for all the reasons I just told you. And we have seen a corresponding increase in prices. The past 30 days, my price of a bushel of soybeans today versus where I closed 30 days ago, I am up 77 cents a bushel for a bushel of old crop soybeans. New crop soybeans is up right at about 52 cents per bushel for new crop soybeans. So we've got a very dramatic run up in the soybean market for the reasons stated. Now, most people don't do it this way, but we'll go to the corn secondly. Slide number 3 it's an extension of the earlier slide that I've shown everybody of the range-bound market we're in with new crop. Our corn market, what I see going on right here with this 436 resistance line that was just established about a week and a half ago, I really believe we're going to have a hard time breaking that 436 into March. 410 is most certainly going to hold things. Another thing to point out again, The Monday of the very big dramatic, or Tuesday rather, of the dramatic crop report, where you saw this thing fall as hard as it did. You notice the volume that occurred that day. It was record volume for the contract. Both slide number 3 and slide number 4, when we go to that, you see the very same thing. We see a fairly dramatic drop in the, obviously the price, and a dramatic increase in the volume on that same day. Slide number 4 occurred back in January. We really have seen a considerable amount of recovery in December of 26, but again, I do challenge the market. 466 and a quarter is probably going to keep a cap on this thing for a while. There's not a lot of reason to rally this thing much further than that. Likewise, what we've seen in the same period, I go back to January. Corn market actually has been fairly flat among the managed money crowd. We go back into the third week of January. I was short about 64,000 contracts. Today we're short about 44,000 contracts of corn. So we have seen some recovery in the establishment of the short positions that occurred again after the last crop report before this past one. And we have seen some reversal in that, but again, not enough to really move the market. What we are seeing on a global scale right now, just did a little bit of reviewing, is a fairly well-defined reversal in what had been a long-standing La Nina. We go back to global weather patterns. We are watching an El Nino develop at I don't want to say alarming, but at least a fairly remarkable pace. We are seeing sea surface temperature anomalies 2 to 3 degrees above normal. 6 weeks ago, they were 2 to 3 degrees below. So we've seen a very dramatic change in ocean temperatures, particularly in the eastern region of the Pacific equatorial portion of the ocean. So we'll keep an eye on that. What really has meteorologists concerned about that is if we do see a very, very dramatic shift into an El Nino early in the season, that does tend to bring us some dry weather in the spring and the summer. So that's a reality that we really need to keep an eye on very closely. As far as really what else is going on in the world, I'm showing Brazil behind pace just a little bit. It's worth mentioning. I'm not really going to dwell on that too much right now. Export sales report from last week didn't look too bad. It is showing indeed the same thing that we all know, that we're behind pace on our beans and above pace on our corn. Again, I've given you my analysis of where I think that's really going and where that's going to probably let off in the next 60 to 75 days. So with that said, I do want to move over to what's going on in Nexus. We are having a pair of grower summits. If you haven't received a call yet, by now you will be. Mason City on the 25th of February, having a grower summit at Nyack from 2 till 7, with some great speakers and a fine meal at the end of it. The next day, Austin, that's a morning meal. Morning event rather. 8 o'clock in the morning is the registration time, and we're going to have again another nice lunch, followed by a very fine presenter occurring about 12:30. So come to either one of those. We will appreciate your presence. I will assure you that your time spent there is time well spent. And with that said, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I also want to thank a group that doesn't really get enough, probably doesn't get enough thanks, and that's our marketing group, led up by Chris Menke. He does a really great job. Without him and his group, things like this video wouldn't really even be occurring. So again, extended gratitude towards that, and you'll get to meet those fine folks next week. So if you have any questions, reach out to any of the grain professionals at Nexus Co-op, and we are here to serve you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.